So today I want to talk about rest because I think it's something that is often overlooked, but we don't realize how important it is in order to actually keep continuing going after our goals and not not reaching burnout. Because if you're constantly on the go, you're going to get tired eventually. And with the way things are, I think like with hustle culture and work culture, it's easy to think that we have to constantly be working and constantly be on the go, like this, that, that. But sometimes you just need a day to relax and take your time with yourself. And I don't mean by partaking in indulgence and doing things that distract you. I mean intentional rest that actually re regenerizes your body and makes you come out better after. I think rest is important because one day, let's say you are somebody who likes to constantly be on the go, like I got to get to this goal, I got to get to this goal. Maybe one day you are going to get to the goal. But once you're there, you might realize that that's not even what you want anymore because you didn't take a step back to analyze and think about what person you are today, who you are today, and the ways in which you've changed through the experiences that you've gone through since you first wanted to go after that goal. And I know for me, with my party planning business, I really I started it when I was 19, I believe. And when I started it, I was thinking about money, honestly. I'm like, okay, like this will be my side hustle and I'm going to keep going at it just to get my money, get new customers. And so I was like constantly creating and I was doing parties back to back to back, but I was doing it so much for money, so much for the idea of what the business was rather than thinking about my intention, why I wanted to do this business and why it really mattered to me, if it even mattered to my life, if it even contributed to my happiness. Because what should be our number one priority is to be happy. Because without happiness, you're just doing, and without being happy and putting that intention to be happy, you're just living a life, but it's not really your life because it's not aligned to who you want to be. So you're just going through the motions without actually being aligned to what lights you up. And so rest is very important. But with my business, I was constantly working, right? And it wasn't until I like literally got burnt out after like about a year, and I was like, oh my god, like literally I'll admit I had certain events that did not go the way that I planned. Like the decorations were not there, like they were not they did not meet my expectations for what I expected out of myself. And I'm like, why? Like why did this event turn out this way? Why didn't I do it the way that I really wanted to? And the reason why it didn't turn out the way that I wanted is because I was too focused on the hustle. I was too focused on being stressed out about the work and being stressed out, oh, this has to be so perfect and this has to be just like the inspiration photo and the client has to like it and all the da, 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 all of this. But in reality, I wasn't putting myself in my work. I wasn't putting my personality. I was just copying and pasting based off of inspiration photos, which is not a bad thing, like especially for like decorating business. People have inspo that they see online and they want the same thing. Like for nails, like when you go get your nails done or you get your hair cut, like you show them an inspiration photo. But for me, for that to be the main thing that I was focused on, I was not putting my energy anywhere else. I was not expressing myself creatively anywhere else. And so in in other words, I was not putting myself myself, me, who I am at my core, was nowhere in my life. I wasn't putting my energy anywhere in my life because I was so focused on the idea of what I wanted rather than what actually resonated with me. And so I realized that this isn't for me anymore. This isn't what I actually want. And when I started going after stuff that actually did light me up, that made me feel more like me, I'm way happier. But back to rest, because that's more career wise and being intentional with that. But what does rest look like? So instead of rest, like just laying down, like being on your phone, watching a movie, that can look like rest. Or maybe even like going out, like getting a drink, indulging in things that aren't necessarily good for your body. That's a kind of rest, but it's not intentional rest. The kind of intentional rest that makes you come out better is the kind of rest that makes you more aware of yourself, that brings you back to yourself rather than puts you out of yourself even more. Because when you're constantly working, I know, because I at one time I worked 3 jobs, and when I was working those 3 jobs, it was literally like doom 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 doom, like no time for myself. And it was good, like my pockets were good, but my mental health wasn't really there. I didn't really know who I was or what I wanted. And this is especially important if you're in your 20s, because when you're in your 20s, you have to figure out what you like. Because let's say you don't ever come back to yourself, then you're going to wake up one day, you're going to be 30, and you're not even going to know what you like. You're just going to know what you did, but you're not going to know why you did it. And so with intentional rest, that includes writing, that includes speaking to yourself, that includes just sitting in silence. Because when you do these intentional actions, this allows you to see what's been hiding. When there's no noise around you, what comes up, what has been hiding under the words that you say to other people. Because oftentimes when we speak to other people, it's more projecting what our egos want, it's more projecting thoughts that sit at the forefront of our minds. But what is in the back of your mind? What is actually driving your actions? Because you can think to yourself, I'm this person because I talk to people this way. I'm this person because I act this way. But you don't understand why you do it unless you really sit back with yourself and think about, why am I thinking these thoughts? But why is this important to me? But why do I want to do this? And why is this even me? Like, am I living my dream, or am I living somebody else's? Or am I just living for the paycheck? And I understand how things are with money, and like, obviously we get put in circumstances where we do need to work, where we do need to just hustle and go make your money. But that should not be forever. If your heart belongs somewhere else, you should at least be putting a little time every day, or however often you can within a week, towards yourself, something that actually feels true to you. Because if not, you're going to get lost in something that isn't you. And so intentional rest, literally anything that makes you feel more like yourself. If you like painting, if you like going for a walk, if you like anything that allows you to sit with yourself and really reflect. Yesterday, I okay, not yesterday. Well, yes, yesterday, but this past week, I've been coming home from work really tired. And I was like, because I get everything done in the mornings, and after 5, that's when I have time to myself to do whatever I want. But I've been coming home at like 5, right? And I feel like so exhausted, but there's still things that I want to do. Like, I still want to record videos, I still want to write a script, I still want to play with my dog, I want to play with my niece, but I have no energy. And I just feel negative, and I feel like sad. And but I've been forcing myself to keep going, to keep doing it regardless, because I got to get my goals done, like, let's do this, I want to get my goals done so bad. But if I'm not taking time to myself to rest, then I can't show up in my best energy. And all the work that I'm going to do, excuse me, confirmation verb, all the work that I'm doing and that I'm showing up in for my dog, for my niece, like, it's gonna be half-assed. It's gonna be literally not in my best energy. And the best way to show up better is to just sit, even for just a day. Just sitting for a day helps so much. Literally, it can be one night a week at least, to give yourself a rest, to give yourself a break from all the stress that been putting yourself under, because you need that. You need that to be yourself, to be yourself and come back to where you want to be, to understand really where you want to be and why you're doing it. Because eventually, if you do, if you do come back to yourself, the next day is going to be way better. You're going to come back, literally, you literally just got to go away from like I said, like a day for a night, and then the next day you come back way better, in your best energy, your most aligned energy, and you finally understand why, which brings more purpose as to in the actions that you make, and in turn making everything better. And so my homework to you is to rest. Either either write, journal to yourself anything that's on your mind. Literally doesn't have to be any prompt. Anything that's on your mind, like, oh, I ate a taco today. It was really good. And like, just keep going. Or go for a walk. Go somewhere that you usually don't walk. Literally just stare outside a window. Hear the breeze, listen to the breeze. Like literally simple things like this, simple things in our life literally heals us, and it comes back to ourselves, and it allows us to show up so much better in our lives. And so I hope this helped you. I hope you listen to me, because rest is really important. I promise you won't regret taking at least a day to yourself. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.